High Counselor Zethkara's crystalline form trembled as she addressed the Galactic Assembly. Her people, the Veilthari, had not known fear for 3 millennia, but today terror coursed through her bioluminescent veins like poison. "Esteemed delegates," she began, her voice harmonizing in frequencies that made the translation devices struggle. "The consume has breached the Andorian sector. 12 worlds have gone dark in the past solar cycle. At their current rate of expansion, they will reach the core worlds within a standard year." A collective shudder rippled through the assembled representatives. The consume, a hive-minded plague that converted all organic matter into extensions of itself, had been contained in the outer rim for 2 centuries. Now it was spreading like wildfire through civilized space. "The Keth Mori fleet was annihilated at Proxima 7, continued Admiral Vorgeth, his reptilian features grim. 3,000 ships, our most advanced warships, consumed in mere hours. The enemy adapts to our weapons faster than we can deploy them." Elder Matriarch Silnara of the peaceful Lumina raised her gossamer wing. "Surely the technological collective has a solution?" "Their computational abilities, already consulted," interrupted Dr. Hexrin, the collective's prime node. His cybernetic implants flickered with distress patterns. "We've run 847,293 combat simulations. Victory probability in conventional warfare, 0.1%. The consume's adaptive capabilities exceed our projective models." The assembly fell into despairing silence. Representatives from a dozen species beings who had conquered stars, transcended mortality, and built civilizations spanning millennia, sat helpless before an enemy that turned their greatest strengths into weaknesses. High Counselor Zethkara straightened her crystalline spine. "There is one option, a species we've deliberately avoided contact with for good reason." A chill swept through the chamber. Several delegates began backing away from the central podium. "No," whispered Ambassador T. Lara of the Serenity Collective. "You cannot be suggesting." "Humans," Zethkara said, and the word hung in the air like a curse. The reaction was immediate and visceral. The Veilthari delegates' bioluminescence dimmed to near black. The Keth Mori hissed and bared their fangs. Even the emotionless collective node sparked with what could only be described as electronic anxiety. "They're monsters," breathed Elder Silnara. "Violent beyond comprehension. They wage war for entertainment, destroy their own planets for resources, and kill their own kind over ideological differences. Their homeworld is a death trap," added Admiral Vorgeth. "Gravity that would crush most species, an atmosphere that corrodes metal, and life forms evolved specifically for predation. And somehow, impossibly, they're the apex predators of that nightmare realm." Dr. Hexrin's implants flickered rapidly. "Our psychological profiles indicate severe aggressive tendencies, an inexplicable pack-bonding behavior that defies logic, and a disturbing tendency to thrive in situations that would break the minds of civilized beings." Zethkara raised her arm for silence. "I know what humans are. We all do." The stories spread throughout the galaxy like a plague themselves. Humans who survived the vacuum of space for 17 minutes. Humans who declared war on their own star's radiation and won. Humans who looked at the food chain and decided they belonged at the top of it. She paused, letting the weight of her words settle. "But consider this, if we, with all our combined wisdom and technology, cannot stop the consume, perhaps what we need isn't wisdom. Perhaps what we need is madness." The assembly erupted in panicked voices. Representatives argued in 17 different languages, creating a cacophony that the translation systems couldn't pass. Through it all, Zethkara stood silent, waiting for them to reach the same terrifying conclusion she had. Finally, Ambassador T. Lara's melodious voice cut through the chaos. "Even if we could contact them, What makes you think they would help? Humans are notoriously unpredictable. They might decide to ally with the consume. Or worse, they might decide we're all threats and eliminate everyone. There's another problem, Dr. Hexrin added, his voice heavy with electronic dread. To even request their aid, we would need to reveal the locations of our core worlds. We would be giving the most dangerous species in the galaxy a complete map to our civilizations. Zethkara's form began to pulse with determined light. I've studied the human files extensively. Yes, they're violent. Yes, they're unpredictable. But there's something else in their behavioral patterns, something that terrifies me more than their capacity for destruction. She projected a holographic display showing human historical data. They have a word in their languages, protect. When humans decide something is worth protecting, they become truly unstoppable. They'll sacrifice themselves for complete strangers. They'll adopt orphaned young from other species. They'll nurture sick animals back to health, and then weep when those animals die decades later. The display shifted to show human military records. And when something threatens what they've decided to protect, they don't just fight to win. They fight to utterly annihilate the threat. They call it going nuclear, and they mean it literally. A long silence fell over the assembly. Each delegate contemplated the impossible choice before them: face certain extinction at the hands of the consume, or gamble everything on the most feared species in the galaxy. Elder Silnara was the first to speak. If we do this, if we contact the humans, there's no going back. Whatever they are, whatever they do to help us, we'll have to live with the consequences. Assuming we survive to live with them, Admiral Vorgeth muttered. Zethkara's crystalline form blazed with final resolution. The vote is before us. All in favor of contacting the human species for military assistance against the consumed threat. One by one, with varying degrees of terror and resignation, every delegate raised their appendage in agreement. As the communication array powered up to send humanity's first official invitation to join galactic civilization, Zethkara couldn't shake the feeling that they had just made a decision that would either save the galaxy or doom it to something far worse than the consume. In the depths of space, the message began its journey toward a small blue world where the most feared species in the galaxy was about to learn that the universe needed monsters.